Seismologist Dr. John Ristau describes exactly what happened.
This was a deep earthquake, a little over 200 kilometers deep, magnitude 6.2 in the western part of the North Island, about halfway between Tongariro volcanic zone and Taranaki. These types of earthquakes, these really deep ones like this, are actually not uncommon in that part of the North Island, like anywhere from the central North Island west, because what we have is the North Island sits on the Australian plate, and we have the Pacific plate is subducting or pushing beneath the North Island. And as you go further west, that plate gets deeper and deeper and deeper. So by the time you're getting, towards the west coast of the North Island, these earthquakes can be 100, 200 kilometers deep. Even beneath Taranaki, they can be several hundred kilometers deep.
John, did you feel it where you were?
Yes, yeah, in Lower Hutt, in Wellington region, felt it quite strongly in our office.
And how would you characterise it in terms of, was it a sharp quake or rolling?
Well, I felt both the initial hit of the P wave, so that was like a good solid bump. And then by the time I got up from my desk, to go out and watch the TV screens with all the waveforms and everything coming in, then felt the surface waves coming through. So that was kind of more of a rolling, swaying type motion.
Has it been an isolated quake, or has there been more activity since it struck?
Well, these types of earthquakes, deep earthquakes like this, they tend not to produce any aftershocks, or if there are aftershocks, they are quite small, and so they'll also be of similar depths, which means that people aren't going to feel them. So it's highly unlikely there's going to be any significant felt aftershocks from this earthquake.
Okay, so we shouldn't be worried that this is a precursor to something bigger? No,
not at all.
So how widely, has it been felt? How far away?
Well, we have over 15,000 felt reports, and they're going from as far north as Auckland, all the way out to East Cape, all the way down the east coast of the North Island. A lot of felt reports from Christchurch, and even as far as Dunedin. And what's this one way down here? I don't even know what that place is, but kind of almost like right down to the bottom of the south. Oh, that's in Invercargill.
So maybe down to Bluff or somewhere, as far as Bluff, or not quite?
Yeah, so basically from Auckland to Invercargill.
and so how does that compare of other quakes of this magnitude?
Well, deep earthquakes like this, they do tend to be very widely felt. They're typically not felt close to the epicenter. Like if we looked at where the felt reports are, there are very few that are actually close to the epicenter. And what happens is that when earthquakes are deep, the seismic energy, it leaves the epicenter and it spreads out from the epicenter. So by the time it gets up to the surface, it's actually traveled quite far from the epicenter. So you tend not to feel it directly over top, but you feel it at quite at a really far distance away. Now, to actually get really strong felt reports as far as Christchurch, that's a little bit unusual. So that's
so why might that be the case then, if it's unusual?
Well, yeah. What happens? Okay, so you get these earthquakes that are deep. So as I talked about, the Pacific plate is pushing beneath the Australian plate that we're sitting on. And when that energy hits the boundary of the two plates, it travels very efficiently up along the plate towards the surface. And so this earthquake, it also, with the way the energy was radiated from the epicenter, may have just been, was probably just ideally oriented so that the energy was propagating directly towards Wellington and then as far south as.
So it got a good run on, in layman's terms, it got a good run on in terms of the flow on effect.
Yeah,
how long did it last for, roundabout?
Well, I was probably feeling it for probably a good 30 seconds, anyways.
Truth be told, John, was it enough to make you get under your desk?
Actually, no. I got up from my desk to go to the media room where we have the TV screens to look at it.
So you didn't get under your desk. You didn't stop, drop, and hold.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah, I did the wrong thing.